Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Rocky Mountain Gardens. My name is Mary, and just in case you're new here, I do everything pertaining to gardens and home on my channel. So today guys, let's talk about bushes. I live in a suburban garden with a relatively small yard, and I wanted to share with you what I have learned about some of the best bushes to buy for your smaller sized garden. We'll just jump right in to take a look at some of these lovely plants that you can purchase for your garden to beautify it and just have it look fantastic. And we will talk flowering bushes and other types that will really spruce up your backyard. Let's get started. Our first plant is called ninebark, and ninebark is actually a native of North America, so a great plant for our birds and other animals. The version I am showing you today is called Little Joker. Little Joker is considered a dwarf, although it can get up to 9 feet tall and wide. However, it can be pruned to the size that you would like it for your garden space. All of the plants that we're going to be talking about today are hardy down to zone 4, which is where I live, and the kind of plants you especially would want to look for in the northern parts of our country. Little Joker has white spring flowers. It produces fruits for the birds, and lastly, the leaves turn a dark sort of burgundy color in the fall. So it keeps on giving throughout the growing season. Here is an example of the golden barberry, and the barberry family has quite a few choices within it for color. And if you don't have anything blooming at the moment, this bright yellow shade that you see here really sparkles in your garden. And of course, barberries do stay small. They never get out of hand. In the spring, I cut off any dead branches, and then it just leaves out and gives you this fantastic color. Here's an example of a red-toned barberry, one of the many reds that you can find. Barberry comes in different sizes and shapes. This one, for example, is a pygmy barberry. Barberry likes full sun, but it will grow in partial shade. It's just that the colors will not be quite as brilliant when they are in partial shade. Barberry does have thorns, so it's good for deer resistance as well. I have several Anthony Waterer bushes in my garden, and they are just fantastic plants. This is where mine is at the moment. It is before the blooming begins. You can see though that as the leaves first emerge, they have sort of a burgundy color to them, and later they begin to turn this lovely green shade. And what I do in the springtime is I cut off the dead blooms from the previous year so that this beautiful flush of leaves and soon to come blooms will all really shine without the dead parts, sort of making it look a little raggedy, I guess. This is a fantastic bush, like I said. And here is a picture of the glorious blooms on this Anthony Waterer. You can see that they form in umbels, sort of flat gatherings of many tiny blooms, which are really a standout in your garden. I would like to introduce you to a native plant from here in Colorado. It's actually found near the Pawnee Buttes in eastern Colorado, and it is of course a native. It loves full sun, And it also is a plant that grows 18 inches tall approximately and can grow as wide as 6 feet. It would be a great plant for an area that you need to fill in with a beautiful native plant. And as you can see in the second picture, it gets lovely blooms also that you can enjoy in your garden. Another flowering bush for your garden is called Weigela. Now, Weigela comes in a lot of different varieties. I'm showing a couple of them here. The Wine and Roses has dark burgundy foliage. And the second one, My Monet, is an even smaller dwarf version which has variegated foliage. They both like full sun for the maximum number of blooms. This is the Miss Kim lilac that is growing in my yard. It has been here probably for about 8 years and started about 18 inches in height. Miss Kim can grow 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, which is quite smaller than the usual common lilacs. The advantage for Miss Kim in northern climates is that it blooms later in the spring. And so if you have late frost in your area that can freeze off the buds before they even have a chance to bloom, which does happen here where I live in Colorado, very often actually. With Miss Kim, I am able to have lovely blooms and the beautiful fragrance from this particular lilac in the spring. Our last bush for sunny areas in your yard is the rose. We simply cannot forget this plant because it is a prolific bloomer, and today there are so many varieties with beautiful colors and fragrances. Many are very disease resistant, and there are dwarf varieties, bush varieties that make it possible for it to fit into any area of your garden and bring joy with their simple, beautiful blooms. If you are looking for a bush that can do well in shade, and I do have a lot of shade in my backyard, this wintergreen variety is zone 4 and has done very well in deep shade, dappled shade, and also even in sun. So keep this one in mind if you're looking for something to fill those shady spots in your yard. Here is a fantastic bush called a Daphne, and the variety is called Carol Mackey. It gets these tiny little flowers on it in the spring, and they start off a pinkish color and fade to white, and the leaves are so cute. Let's see if I can show you one here. Here we are. Here's a good example. Let's see. Right here. You can see that there are yellow tinged edges to these leaves, and it is just fantastic. This bush stays rather small and is slow growing, perfect for a small suburban garden. And our last shade plant today is dwarf serviceberry. Serviceberry is a native plant, and it can grow up to 5 feet by 5 feet in size, although it can be pruned back. It offers very pretty white spring flowers and is good actually down to zone 3. So this plant likes partial or dappled shade, or it can exist in full sun as well. I sincerely hope that this video has been helpful for you as you plan your shopping list for gardening this season. And guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I hope to see you again soon with another gardening video. Everyone have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.